Welcome to another AgGateway Global Network video. I'm Jim Wilson, President of AgGateway Global Network. In this video, Andres Ferreyra from Ag Connections presents an overview of how AgGateway's members are working to improve farm operations.
Thank you, Jim. So my name is Andres Ferreyra. I am Manager of Special Projects for Ag Connections, which is a farm management information systems company that is a wholly owned subsidiary of Syngenta. And what I do in Ag Connections is, on one hand, represent us in several standards bodies, and also in the company I have led multiple integration projects with different hardware and software manufacturers in field operations space, so irrigation, tractors, combines, those sorts of things. And in AgGateway, I've had a variety of roles as a volunteer. I have been chair of the Standards and Guidelines Committee. I've been chair of the Precision Ag Council. I've also been very active in the Spade and Pail projects. In the Spade 2 and Spade 3 projects, I've been the head of the project's management team. And I've also been very active in the ADAPT work, especially regarding its data model. And so today I'm going to talk to you about field operations and the work that the agriculture industry is doing through AgGateway to make field operations easier. And thank you for the opportunity to share this with you. There are some questions here that I would like to pose to you and see if they look familiar. So, did I make money on this field last year? What should I do with this field? Should I keep renting it? Should I buy it? Should I let it go? Do I need bigger equipment? Do my retailers' invoices match the amounts of product I'm applying to my fields? How do my sustainability metrics compare to average? And all of these questions represent farmer business problems. And all of these problems have something in common. They can only be solved with accurate, usable data. So now let's examine a set of specific problems, such as I have different brands of equipment. They all collect valuable data, but each speaks its own language. I have to use many software programs in order to do anything with my agronomic or field operations data. My customers want me to show that I'm using sound agronomic practices and being a good steward of the land. They're also interested in traceability. I want to do all of this, but it's just too complicated to get all the data I need. All of these are interoperability problems, and they make it very difficult for us to solve our customers' business problems. And those customers do not like it. They need to run their business using data from multiple different systems. But it turns out that the whole agricultural industry has business problems like these, but can't easily solve them because it's been so hard for different technology providers to interoperate. So AgGateway provides a framework for companies to find problems that they have in common, such as interoperability in field operations and supply chain, and to collaborate on finding solutions that can benefit their customers and the whole industry. We've mentioned ADAPT. What is this? It's a toolkit of software tools or libraries that can be incorporated into farm management software to help improve farmers' data. Improving the quality of farmers' data and managing integrations with multiple partners is a huge problem for software companies. And ADAPT helps solve that problem too. And it does that by enabling communications between the controllers on farm machinery, which are called Machine Implement Control Systems, or MICS, and farm management software, also called FMIS. And it does this in a way that enables the toolkit to be used internationally. And a concept that will be used a little later is that of a common object model. So what is this common object model? Well, modern software uses object models to represent data. And ADAPT's participating companies have worked together for years to agree on an object model that can help the industry interoperate. This object model was kept very generic and flexible, recognizing that different farmers document their processes differently. It is open source, and it uses the Eclipse public license, and anyone can use it free of charge. Now, ADAPT has plugins. So what are these? ADAPT is designed to make things easier by letting everyone who owns a format integrate with the ADAPT Common Object Model just once, instead of having multiple point-to-point integrations. So plugins are software libraries that translate back and forth between a data format and the ADAPT Common Object Model. To accomplish interoperability, different companies write plugins for their proprietary software. And because the common object model and the framework that manages the plugins are open source, companies can license them however they want. So let's briefly discuss how ADAPT works using two examples. The first one, represented by the red arrows, shows how ADAPT can be used to import data into a farm management system from a farm machine. And the software is labeled FMISA, and it consists of the original proprietary farm management software, able to create and use instances of the ADAPT Common Object Model. A proprietary plugin takes data files from the machine implement control system and converts it into ADAPT data objects that the farm management software can then use. The second example shows data transfer between two different farm management information systems, FMISA and FMISB. This could happen if the farmer wanted to exchange documents with an advisor or a service provider, for example. And you see here how you have that chain of steps that take the data through the ADAPT serialization plugin instead of a proprietary plugin. Let's quickly review 5 key concepts about ADAPT. First one is that its power is in its common object model that everyone can use. The second one is that ADAPT uses a plugin architecture to transform data, and it can include both open source plugins and proprietary plugins. Third idea is that ADAPT serialization through this ADAPT plugin allows lossless FMIS to FMIS data transfer. So you can take exactly what you had in this object model here and put it in that object model there. A fourth important idea is that ADAPT is not a file transfer mechanism. It's a format conversion tool. The fifth one is that ADAPT leverages the use of controlled vocabularies. We've defined a reference data system that allows us to share identifiers for products and other resources across the industry, so they mean the same thing to all the participants in a data exchange, like here. So what about internationalization? Well, it turns out that it's critically important for farm management software to fully represent the farmer's local business processes and the data involved. That means a lot of country and state-specific information, which might change often. And this kind of information is not what we usually think about when discussing international standards. And indeed, including it in a common object model creates a lot of problems for companies, which need to have stable versions of software for as long as possible. And they need to look to avoid creating specific versions of their data models for different geographies, if at all possible. So, AgGateway's context item system reconciles these competing needs. It uses extensible vocabularies that farm management systems can read from the internet and understand, and that anyone can request extensions to. So, what is the value of ADAPT? Well, it provides value to multiple stakeholders. So we show you 4 clear examples here, which are farmers, farm management information system companies, equipment manufacturers, and the manufacturers of inputs such as seeds and crop protection products. And ADAPT offers value to each of them in several ways. For farmers, it's definitely meant to make it easier to move data among multiple systems, to solve mixed fleet problems for the farmer. For farm management information system companies, they can reduce costs and development time translating data from a variety of formats because they can focus on that single integration to the ADAPT model. For equipment manufacturers, it makes it easier for them to engage with multiple software companies and to make the data coming from their machines be more usable. And for input manufacturers, it makes it easier to use their products in accordance with the label and makes it easier to have direct engagement with farmers and farm data. So how can you get involved? It's very simple. A great starting point is the adaptframework.org website. It contains links to the source code and to multiple other resources. The ADAPT team also has an email address that you can use to send in questions and comments, and we'll provide you with onboarding and mentoring as you engage with us. So remember that ADAPT is an open source effort. Although the governance process is handled through an AgGateway North America committee, anyone anywhere can contribute code and propose changes and additions. So finally, talk to your customers about ADAPT and about how you're investing effort in bringing them interoperability solutions with it. Thank you very much for your attention. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions you might have about AgGateway and ADAPT.
Thanks for presenting, Andres, and thank you for watching this video. AgGateway Global Network has several other videos, and I invite you to explore them. Thanks again, and goodbye.